and I am back again. Yes, I am back. I am back home in Jersey from Tampa, but we'll get into all that. Before we get going here, I got to go through all those formalities. It's always the same. Make sure if this is your first time watching here or watching us live here on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We also are going to be doing a giveaway. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Also, make sure you give us a follow on Snapchat and Twitter. That is nothing but 9ERS. You can see it right there at the bottom of the screen at nothing but 9ERS. Instagram and Facebook, man. Big Mike holding us down over there, NY to the Bay on Facebook and Instagram. And that's nothing but Niners, all spelled out. No or just spaces and all that in there. Nothing but Niners, all spelled out. Also, check out our website, www.nothingbutniners.com. You'll see a slew of great writers over there, some great articles. Anthony Perry, who you guys know from the show as well, just put out an article on his, his game thoughts about Tampa. So go over there and check that out right now, or when we're done the show. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, you can also email us, nb9ers@nothingbutniners.com. Also, if you want to send us over any of your game day pictures or just you and your 49ers attire for the website, we will throw that up there. I got a lot of pictures that I have to add from this weekend. But tonight, I just want to talk a little bit about this weekend. And I'm going to look in the comments and check out with you guys. It's just me tonight. So I just want to say what's up to everybody. Sorry that I wasn't, on as much this weekend. Obviously, I was in Tampa at that game. I see Still Gold says that flag in the back. Right there, he says that flag. So we're talking about this flag right here. That is the Faithful Flag Adventures, guys. That one of our show watchers and one of my good friends does for Twitter for the Faithful. It's hashtag Faithful Flag Adventures. If you guys are interested in that, check that out on Twitter. What he does is he sends it around to a bunch of different people all over. So it's been in the UK, Canada, Lambeau Field, just to name a few that are on there. And you take pictures with it and things like that. And, take pictures with it, show where it's at, take it to the game, wear it proudly. I got a ton of pictures that I have to put up for that. This weekend, man, let me get back up here so I can turn this one off real quick. Let's see. JD, what's going on, baby? JD says nothing but Niners. Nick, it is now your responsibility to attend all 16 games. You're undefeated and got to keep it going. Look, I will be at the first 3 games, JD. So I will be in Cincinnati this weekend, and then I will be at the home opener week 3. So we got 3 weeks. So hopefully we get 3-0. But you're right. That's my first home game or away game attending this year, and we are 1-0, which we were 0-8 last year. So big difference. Tampa was extremely hot, guys. I mean, extremely hot. It was probably 95, 96 degrees regular temperature. With the humidity, it was about 112 from Friday to Monday, the day that I left. Extremely hot. There was people, passing out right in front of me. I had a Bucs fan lady stand up and go to cheer for the Bucs scoring a touchdown and literally just passed out right in front of me. So thankfully she's okay. Thankfully she's okay. Got her some water and things like that. But man, I spent like $60 on water inside the stadium. It was insane. But other than that, man, definitely invading Cincinnati. Other than that, man, the weekend was great. I got in on Friday. Just want to talk a little bit about the trip. So I got in on Friday. I did some pictures and things like that. Now I just moved back to Jersey from Tampa, so I know a little bit about Tampa and places to go and things like that. But the chapter out there in Lakeland did a really, really good job with their meet and greet, which was on Saturday. So Friday, I took some pictures with the flag, saw some of my family members, things like that. My aunt lives in this one little area where she basically has a dock in her backyard, beautiful bay, thing like that. So it was pretty cool. Saturday, got up early, went to downtown Tampa, took some pictures for the, Faithful Flag Adventures and things like that. And then Saturday afternoon, I met up with Robert Alberino, Nick Clark, great guys. Kiana Martin was there, Terrell Lloyd, the team photographer. And like I said, Lakeland's chapter threw a really good meet and greet, and the 49ers threw a really, really good invasion. Did a lot of giveaways, things like that. That was Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m. Did that. Saturday night, I didn't really do too much. I was kind of exhausted just from the heat. It was a long day, up and at 'em at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Didn't get home till about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. Friday night, I did go out to Ybor, which is a small town over there in Tampa. And the Lakeland chapter had a meet and greet there as well at the Buffalo Wild Wings. A ton of faithful guys. When I'm talking a ton of faithful, I'm talking a complete takeover. You guys, I heard people telling us that you could hear us on TV with the Let's Go Niners chants. I tried to get the all gas, no brake chant going there. I did get that going at the tailgate. If you guys haven't checked anything out, you can check that out on our Instagram page, Nothing But Niners, and also our Twitter account, Nothing But 9ERS. I put up a ton of pictures, ton of videos, things like that from the takeover. So overall, the weekend was really good. Get to Sunday, that the tailgate was really top notch. The DJ, the Empire chapter was really good. A ton of people get into the game. Like I said, crazy hot, and just the game in general. Let me talk about the game and what I saw at the game, and then I'll get into some of these comments and see if maybe I'll bring somebody on tonight. First thing I took notice to, obviously, was the defense, right? The defense played really, really good. I saw, the likes of Nick Bosa and Dee Ford on the outsides. I've seen Nick Bosa on the left end with Dee Ford as playing a tackle with Buckner next to him, and then Armstead on the other end. A ton of different things that I was watching. The main thing that really stood out to me was I didn't really watch too much of Richard Sherman. I did watch Tevin Coleman, which I thought he was a little bit lackadaisical in explosion. Come to find out that he did have that ankle injury at halftime, but he did injure it the first play of the game. So that kind of explained that to me once I heard a little bit further into that. Play calling was a little suspect for me. Bosa lined up inside and stunned it a lot as well. Play calling for me was it was kind of like in this game, it was kind of like Kyle Shanahan was calling some plays to get Jimmy Garoppolo into the game. Do I think that is right? No. Do I think it helped a little bit? Yes. But there was a few plays where I was just looking at the field in general on offense, and I've seen plays where Kendrick Bourne was open, and Jimmy Garoppolo is literally just staring at the one side of the field, which is something that I've noticed about him throughout what he played in preseason and then this week at week 1. It didn't look like he was going through a ton of his progressions. There was one, Kendrick Bourne was wide open. It would have been a touchdown easily. But that all comes with rust. And Jimmy Garoppolo at first did not seem like he was the same. The same thing with the Tevin Coleman interception when he was throwing the ball in the flat to Tevin Coleman. The defensive back just sat down on it and literally just got into it and, stood down on it and picked it off and took it back for a pick six. So, Niner by Nature says, what's good with Dante Pettis not playing much? I didn't even take notice. I took notice that Debo and Goodwin started because I was wondering how that was going to start because, we talked about this on the show, and I said that it was going to be Debo and Goodwin and Pettis wouldn't start. And that was what it was. But I didn't notice that Pettis was only in there 2 plays because Debo was playing well. Goodwin was playing well. Their separation was really good. Richie James played really well, ran a couple really good routes. Debo ran a couple looked like rookie mistake routes. Kendrick Bourne ran a couple. The one route that it looked like, I know you guys seen Jimmy getting screamed at on TV, but Jimmy was also screaming at Kendrick Bourne after that play as well before Kyle Shanahan got into Jimmy Garoppolo. Was pointing, telling him, on the sideline. I was literally watching it. So those are some of the takeaways that I took from the game. But overall, man, this defense came out and balled. This defense really came out and balled. The Quan Alexander ejection was really horrible. I mean, yes, he should have been penalized. I was talking to a Tampa Bay fan that was right next to me. Tampa Bay fan that was standing right next to me, or sitting or chanting or cheering, whatever you want to call it, right next to me. And I was saying how Jameis Winston slid head first, and he kind of just didn't give himself up by sliding feet first. And when Quan's coming in to make that tackle, when Quan is coming in to make that tackle, he's lowering his head to hit it. It's a bang play, right? So fine, give him the penalty, but I don't think it needed an ejection, right? So I was talking to a Tampa Bay fan about it. He's like, no, he definitely needs to be ejected. He definitely needs to be ejected, blah, blah, blah. Then they showed the replay. And then the Tampa fans around me are like, okay, he didn't need to be ejected. That, blah, blah, blah. So I see JD says, Niner, what was the reaction when Quan got tossed? The whole stadium booed at him. I mean, the whole stadium booed. Tampa fans, obviously Niner fans were pissed off, but they booed him all the way through the tunnel. I don't know if you guys could hear that on TV or not, but they literally booed him all the way through the tunnel. They were so ecstatic that he got thrown out of the game. So pretty crazy. Let's see. Gold-blooded Sergio. What's up, baby? What's going on? Will Sally T be traded? Niner by Nature says this. I didn't even really notice that Solomon Thomas didn't play that much either. He played a few plays. On that pick six, though, with Richard Sherman, he was in coverage. And he actually held really good coverage. I don't know if a lot of you guys seen that or not. That was one thing that I did take notice, and I think there was a video put out of it as well. He was in coverage on that play. It was just a matter of it was played right. The defender played it right, and the pressure was there, and it ended up being a pick six. Now, like I said, I didn't watch a ton of Richard Sherman this game because I wasn't really concerned with Richard Sherman. But going back and watching the all 22, I'm a little concerned with Richard Sherman, but I'll get into that. I was watching Akello a lot, though. Akello was balling out, man. Like, I got to give it to this kid. He was in the receiver's pocket, as Eric Crocker would say, in his pocket. He was hip to hip with him. Every step they took, he was making some great plays. Akello Witherspoon really stood out to me. Nick Bosa stood out to me. DeForest Buckner did not really stand out to me that much. Even on single team, like being singled instead of doubled, he really didn't stand out that much. I think he'll get his feet under him. I think he'll get better, obviously. Eric Armstead balled out. He had a really, really good game. Obviously, Tarvarius Moore had a really good game. The drop passes between Tarvarius Moore, Quan Alexander, that both could have been pick sixes. We got to catch those. I mean, it didn't hurt us because they only got 3 points, but still got to catch them. Quarterback got special treatment. Yeah, Quan actually does like Winston. They're really good friends. Soko says Quan actually likes Winston, and they do. They're really good friends. Even Mike Evans and Jameis Winston said that Quan shouldn't have been ejected for that game. Yeah, I did hear. Did you hear about Quan was almost made a captain? I thought he was a captain. I thought he was voted in, but I'm not really sure. I did hear Kyle Shanahan talking about it today. Sally got to play well enough to be worth trading. Sing all gas, no brakes. Bashar says, guys, that's the Nothing But Niners motive and the Robert Saleh mantra. And I do have a couple videos of the Empire, the faithful saying that, holding the faithful flag. So go check those videos out. Also, let's see, Rolls Royce, what's going on, baby? Yo, I loved your video, man. I loved your video on Facebook and Instagram. It was a good one, David. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, Rolls, I just saw your comment. How do you like my video? If you guys haven't checked it out, check him out, Rolls Royce. David Royce on Instagram. Love it. Mad hype. Niner by Nature says Spoon was putting in that work. Let's see. Russo says expect Solomon and Pettis play time to go up this week. I agree. I think Pettis's will definitely go up. I'm not too sure about Solomon. Che Martinez says D Ford is a bad man. D Ford definitely played his lights out. Played his lights out. Eric Brono says, can we talk about the possible benching of Jimmy G when you get a chance? I really don't think there's a – if you're listening, if you're talking about the Mike Silver video, Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be benched anytime soon. You guys got to remember, he's played in 11 games in his career. He's going to have to really, really, really mess up to be benched. he's not going to be benched anytime soon. So there's really nothing to talk about with that. How is the run defense getting hit? Look, so the run defense was really good until later in the game, and you could literally tell the players were getting tired out. And I don't blame them, dude. It was 112 degrees. It was probably hotter on the field, plus running around and things like that. Like I said, I literally went through $60 worth of water. It was just that hot. And I've lived in Florida for 7 years, 8 years, and it was one of the hotter days that I've ever felt there. It was completely hot. And I don't know if it's just because me living back in Jersey, my body wasn't adapted to that type of temperature again, but it was extremely hot. This is a good question. Niner by Nature says, do you think Ward takes more spot once he comes back? The only thing that I really do like about Ward when healthy, I mean, obviously he's a decent player when healthy, but his tackling is way better. If you guys remember that one play, I've seen a lot of people complaining about it on Twitter. When we were basically in the prevent defense, it was 3rd and 17, I believe, and they did a quick short pass to Ronald Jones, and he ended up getting 18 yards for that. When he got those 18 yards, we were kind of in a prevent defense. Well, 3 missed tackles, and Tarvarius Moore was one of them. Kind of just did the hit stick type of tackling and just bounced off him. And just bounced off Ronald Jones. So one thing with Jimmy Ward is he is a for sure tackler. He does make really good tackles in front of him. Coverage wise, I think he's better at safety than he is. Mike thinks he's better at nickel. I think he's better at free safety, but it's all to be seen. Are we entertaining Melvin Gordon? Mark says. I don't think we are, but you never know. It's the NFL. I wouldn't even think about doing it because Tevin Coleman will be back in 4 to 6 weeks, and I think Raheem Mostert and I don't even think we're going to call Jeff Wilson up, to be honest, because of the fact that we're not putting Coleman on the IR. So that'll be interesting. Bashar says D Ford looked great, but his PFF grade was only 70. I don't know. I don't understand PFF. I really don't. D Ford also said that he had a lot of rust. I look to see more from D Ford this weekend. Also more with Nick Bosa as well. Both of them their pressure rate was up there. I think Nick Bosa had a 20, I don't know what it was, 27 or 30% pressure rate. I don't remember what it was exactly. It was somewhere in between 25 and 30. So that's really good for a rookie. So let's see. Team Tarvarius Moore, Bashar says. Oh, Bosa, though. 28% pressure rate. Not bad for a rookie. Soko says 28%. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was. Will said the same thing I just said. D4 said he was rusty. That's scary for opposing offenses. He definitely was rusty. His get-off didn't look as good as I thought it was going to watching live. But then it definitely looked a little bit better as the game started going on. David Corona says, you think Jimmy G will play better this week? I do. I think Jimmy has just got to knock some rust off. He hasn't played in a real NFL game, obviously, other than this past Sunday. But I think he'll get more acclimated and things like that, and he'll start to knock that rust off and things like that. So, Kenny, what's going on, man? Says Sack Francisco. Kittle gets 2 touchdowns this Sunday. Kofi Coffee says, oh, Jerry, the video you posted does not sound like you today, says. Royce, what's your Twitter? I'm not sure exactly what his Twitter is. Come on, man. 13-3 because we got Jimmy G. I think his Twitter is actually Rolls Royce. Niners knock him cold. Ford, Bosa, and Buckner are going to kill Andy Dalton. He's going to go to the locker room at halftime and refuse to come back. I started watching this Seattle-Cincinnati game, and it's something really weird stood out to me. And I watched the game from last week, and something really weird stood out to me. And I don't know if it was just because of the packages Cincinnati was running, but Seattle's defense secondary is not good at all. And it was really weird because they stayed in base like Scott Geelan, who was one of our guys, I think he gave me the numbers. I think it was 21 snap counts, I believe it was. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was 21. But they were staying in base with their 3 linebackers and leaving a nickel corner off. They weren't going to nickel. They were staying in base the entire time. Now, this is something that we can exploit. And the reason that John Ross had such a good game was because of this. And this is what I looked at. And I think this isn't, doesn't have to be the true story, but this is how I feel, is with the linebackers in coverage. They were getting, pretty good chunk yards for John Ross being in the slot. Defensive line, obviously Clowney. They had some really good plays, but then they had some plays where they just didn't get any pressure. Seattle, Russell Wilson, their offensive line, Seattle was sacked 4 times. Now, that's not to take anything away from Cincinnati's defensive line, because they have a really good defensive line, a quiet defensive line. So it'll be interesting. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see here. Ward does tackle a lot better, but what about coverage? Look, as a safety, I think he's fine. And the way that we're playing our safeties now, I really like this system in the wide 9. And it's not so much that it's the wide 9. It's just you can never tell who's dropping back and who's coming up and who's staying up. There was one time, like I said, where you had Nick Bosa on the edge in the wide 9. You had Eric Armstead on the other edge in a wide 9. Then you had D Ford next to Nick Bosa. Then you had DeForest Buckner at the other 3 tech. And there were a couple times they had that same lineup, but they did stunts. But this time it was pretty much Bosa went upfield, D Ford went straight, Buckner went straight, and Eric Armstead went upfield. But they also had Fred Warner in there at times, and then Fred Warner would drop out. So it looked like a 5-man front. Fred Warner dropped back. Things like that. I really am liking the way that Saleh disguises this defense, and he did a really good job on it. Run game on both sides was really, really bad. I think we only had 98 yards rushing. And we were the biggest thing that stood out to me this week, and we don't really notice it because the defense, and I got to give Anthony Perry his props because he said the defense was going to score more than the offense, and I laughed at him and said we'll be a 4-12 or 4-12, 5-11 team. If that happened and we'd have to worry, well, the defense came out and scored more points than the offense this week. So big ups to Anthony Perry for calling that out. I was on point with the 31-17 record or 31-17 score. That was completely on point. I'm just going to scroll through a bunch of these comments and catch up to you guys, though. Jimmy Ward is a pretty good slot corner. Big J says, how does everyone feel about our receivers? And I want to talk about our receivers because obviously Dante Pettis didn't play that much. Debo had some rookie mistakes. You've seen those. I mean, obviously the fumble is one of them. But I don't think we can really – I don't think there's anything really that we can say really good about the receivers, and I don't think there's really anything we can say really bad because Jimmy Garoppolo had a rusty game. He didn't really play that well. I mean, other than the two touchdowns called back on Kittle, he would have had 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns thrown, but they obviously were neglected by penalties, which is a big thing that we need to work on because we didn't have a ton of penalties, but the penalties that we did had hurt us in scoring. So I think Jimmy will play a lot better, and then we can once Jimmy starts to play better, we can start to diagnose our receivers. I really loved what I saw out of Richie James this week. I want to see more of Richie James. He just has that good explosion. I mean, that one double move, he kind of did like a stop and go on that touchdown. Wide open. Beautiful pass by Jimmy Garoppolo, too. Right in the money, right over the shoulders, right into the basket. It was perfect. So here we go. Richie James. Richie James is a beast, Zach King says. Will we trade for a wide receiver mid-season? I don't think so. Eric says, I think the offense will open up once Jimmy is comfortable and Hurd or Taylor are back in the mix. There looks like – I'll tell you what. This game, though, there did look like that Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have a whole lot of confidence in the receivers that are on the field. He was staring at Kittle a ton. Like I said, on that one play, he tried to throw to Kittle in the end zone. It was completely covered, but the play call against the formation we were going up against, Kendrick Bourne was wide open. He literally came up, split across. Another receiver came across, or Kittle came out and went across like this, and Bourne was by himself. And if Garoppolo wasn't staring down Jimmy Garoppolo, he would have seen Kendrick Bourne, and it would have been 6. So it'll be interesting to see how things start going there. Richie James is hella reliable. I totally agree with that. Let's see what this says. Bristol punishment. I met a Packers fan who told me the Niners should start C.J. Beathard because he has a good deep ball. No, I'd rather take more of the head game, the head mentality than just a deep ball. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to come out and surprise a lot of people with his deep ball this year. Avatar says, how did the team look? Where'd he go? I lost you. Oh, here it is. How did the team look in person? Team looked great, man. I mean, in person, they look great. They got the win. There were some things that I think needed to be fixed that you guys couldn't see on TV. Obviously, I'm watching. I see the whole field. You only see where the play is going. Like I said, each time I tried to watch a different player. So, there was times I watched the offensive line. There was times I watched Ahkello Witherspoon. There was times I watched just Richie James. There was times I watched just Marquise Goodwin, which kind of took me out of the game too, because I was kind of just watching those guys. But that's kind of how I am at football games anyway. I kind of just watch certain people. And then when I get home, I'll rewatch the game again on Game Pass or All 22 or Coach's Film and see what I didn't see and do some breakdown, things like that. So I know Jalen Hurd didn't practice today. Trent Taylor's still not practicing. Nick Bosa didn't practice today. Let's see here. When for Melvin Gordon. Nick, what's the percentage of 49ers fans in Tampa Bay? There was a lot. Just at the tailgate, I would say out of the 300 or 400 that were there, I would probably say 150 to 200 of them were Florida people, fans. As for percentage is in completely all of Tampa, I'm not really sure. They have like 4 or 5 different chapters over there. I know they have good numbers, but I don't know exactly what the real percentage is. But I tell you what, man, the faithful were there. I told you that earlier. The faithful there, they were deep. They were really deep. Once Ahkello Witherspoon, I thought I was going to get beat up. Once Ahkello Witherspoon got that interception for the pick 6 to end the game and kind of just push us up, I started singing the na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye type of song, and the Tampa fans were just leaving, and there was still like 2 minutes on the clock, and all the Niner fans joined in with me. It was awesome. And then we got the "Let's Go Niners" chant going, which people have told me they heard on the TV. We were deep, man. We were deep. For as hot as it was awesome. Yeah, I just talked about this, Josh Robertson. I just talked about that. Let's see. Me and my dad watched the game, and we thought Jimmy did better than most quarterbacks this week. I don't think Jimmy had a very bad game. I just don't think he played anywhere near his potential. So this is it right here. Kyle's play calling was suspect. I said this to Mike. I've said this on the show, like when I came on when I was driving home from the game. Play calling really upset me this week. I mean, there was a lot of misdirection, and we used Debo a lot to where he was coming like the end arounds, and then so you fake the end around, you fake the handoff, and then you're doing play action, and you're doing quick drop offs. And I don't think it was so much the play calling as it was some mistakes that Jimmy made as well. Because, like I said, on some of those plays, there were receivers wide open. It's just he did the check down, and when you get a 3rd and 8. And you're checking it down at the 2, and the defense wasn't that bad. Their linebackers played actually pretty well. Devin White was a beast out there. So, so I wouldn't put it all on the offensive play calling. I would put it on offensive play calling, the play of Jimmy Garoppolo, and the Heat. The Heat definitely took over the players. And it was adversity. It was definitely adversity. Breida and Heem's going to ball. Heem has surprised me. He can hit that hole better than Breida. Look, you guys know how I've been with Raheem Mostert. I've come a long way. Mike's kind of changed my mind and whole perspective on him. But I have 100%, confidence in Raheem running this football. I really think that, he's going to bring some explosion, even that Breida doesn't have. And I love Breida. So, Nick, what do you think of Kyle Shanahan's play calling? Like I said, I thought it was suspect at times. The other times, I think it was more like just kind of trying to get Jimmy back in the rhythm. Just trying to get him back in the rhythm. Jay Tan says Jimmy needs Dante Pettis. I guess we'll see. Let's see. Play calling was necessary to drain clock. Our defense couldn't keep being thrown into the heat. This is true too. I mean, there was, but a lot of these play calls weren't giving you first downs. They were, putting you in situations where you were at, third and longs. So I think the biggest thing that made the play calling look that bad was also that our run game was not there. Whether it was Tevin Coleman, Raheem Mostert, or Matt Breida, it just wasn't there. It really just wasn't there. Play calling was not there. 187 times. Eddie says, did it look like Jimmy made good reads? Like I said, there was times he did, and there was times that he was just looked to me like he was just literally staring down George Kittle a ton of times. In the fourth quarter, I could hear "Let's go Niner" chants. Yeah, Bashar, that's how it was, man. In the fourth quarter, it was good. Do I think Jason Verrett plays this week? I'm not sure. To be honest. I don't know if he will be active. I think he'll be active, but I'm not sure if he'll play yet or not this week. Definitely sounded like there was more 49ers fans than Tampa in that stadium. There was a lot of 49er fans. It was funny because I tried to have a bunch of faithful from the tailgate and all over the world meet up with me at the ship to take a picture with this flag. And we all get there and we're going to take a picture, and the security guard wouldn't let us take a picture. He's like, there's too many people, you can't take the picture. It was like he was kind of salty that we were about to take over the ship, and this was at halftime. We weren't even winning the game. But he was being a real a pest about us taking the picture. So needless to say, he didn't let us take the picture. And then all the fans were booing us, obviously. But great time, man. Great time. I hear 40% were filled in the stadium. Yeah, it was probably about 40%. It might have even been 50-50. It might. Rolls Royce says I hear 40% were filled in the stadium. I think it was close to 40, maybe 50. It was a lot of people. In my section alone, I bet you I had, out of one section, maybe 150 Niner fans in that little section. Yeah, there actually was a fight. A Niners fan got kicked out, which was in the section right next to me. He was pretty drunk and kind of gave Niner fans a bad name. He was just starting with some old guy. And then he was trying to fight this guy and things like that. And people just grabbed him and stopped him. Some other Niner fans grabbed him and stopped him. But he ended up getting kicked out of the game. But, it happens at every stadium. Let's see here. Is it me? But we need to go back and use some of the defense that Jim Harbaugh defense to do now. Theotis 49ers for life. Holler. Theotis, what's going on, man? There were a lot of things that I thought we actually did that did well. I don't think we need to necessarily go back to a Jim Harbaugh defense per se, because I actually like Robert Saleh. I think Robert Saleh, once you start giving him, Robert Saleh and also Chris Kosaric and Kingsbury have really molded this defense how they want them, and that you can really see that the energy levels there. I don't know how the energy level looked on TV because obviously I was at the game. Excuse me, but for the most part, I think Robert Saleh with this defense, has been doing a lot more different things with the wide nine, just the way we set up the safeties, just a ton of different things, and I think it helps the youth and the talent we have on this team. Bashar, yeah, Jay Tan, my friend from Florida, sent me a video of the 49er chant in Tampa. Which chant was that? The Let's Go Niners chant or the All Gas No Brakes chant? I'm gonna try to put some of the videos up on here so you guys can see them. Just a quick little, minute or two long video with some pictures and things like that. Once I get a chance, I do leave Sunday morning for Ohio, and then fly back that night. So as soon as I get a chance, I'll definitely try to do that for you guys. Jimmy had touchdowns called back for sloppiness. Yeah, we already talked about those. Let's see. Ollie, what's going on? Yep, Kyle had lots of bad review commentators, and Kyle plays too complicated. I don't think it's so much playing too complicated. I don't think it's really on Kyle Shanahan. Like I said, it's the first game of the year. It was really, really hot. I think he was trying to get a run game going. And he was trying it with misdirection stuff. And I think they'll be fine. Breida is better than Coleman. Brian Vetter says, I totally agree with him. Who's our best third and short back? Right now on the squad, or do you want me? I think Jeff Wilson Jr. is probably our best third and short back, but he's on the practice squad. But out of those, Matt Breida and Raheem Mostert, I'd probably go with Mostert, to be honest. Let's see. Anthony Valverde says, I call him Money Mostert. Niner by Nature says, does the play calling have something to do with talent at the receiver position? I don't necessarily think so. I think the play calling literally had a lot to do with the heat. I really do. It was hot as hell out there, guys. Like, I'm not even joking. It was hot. My mother went with me, and she was sitting, a couple rows down. And after people just started passing out, I was, like, more worried about her. I went down. I said, look, I got a T-shirt underneath this. Take your jersey off. Go put this T-shirt on. Drink tons of water. Because I was really worried about her because there was a ton of people passing out. One Tampa Bay, obviously I was a medic and a fireman, things like that. So this lady passed out in front of me. And it even happened to me once. Like, I was sitting down watching the game, hot as heck, drinking water. But I stood up to cheer, and I just got really dizzy and, like, almost blacked out. Thankfully, I caught myself. Well, the lady in front of me didn't. She stood up. She literally stood up and just fell right down, hit her head, started having a seizure. It was really bad. And she was a younger lady, Tampa fan. Obviously my instincts kicked in. I jumped down. I get her up, get her head up. She only had like a quick, like, mall seizure, probably 30 seconds. And it was just about hitting her head. Got her some water and things like that. But there was just people passing out all over the place. It was really, really, it was just really, really bad. The humidity was 85%. Niner by Nature asked what was the humidity. So it was 95 degrees and then 85%. 85% humidity. It was hot. You know what I see about the 49ers teams that can't shit for a nursing home? I don't know what the heck that means. David Yang, what's up, baby? Says hot boys, hella bald. Quan got thrown out because they knew he was too hype. That was, if you guys remember me saying that, I was just a little bit worried about the team coming out really, really hype. And they did. They came out really, really hype. Really, really hype. So, Nick, get a phone? No. Did I get a phone number? No, let's see. Joga stepped up. Steve Mullen says, did the fans complain because there was no shade? No. And I'll tell you what, there's no shade. Like, it's worse than Levi. Way worse than Levi. And the humidity's way worse than Levi. And it's hot as hell. And that's why teams in teams in Florida don't really sell out their stadiums, and you can get tickets for cheap because nobody really goes to sit in those stadiums because it's too damn hot. It's too damn hot. Let's see here. How do I think we match up with the Bengals? I think we match up pretty well with the Bengals, to be honest. I think our defensive front is going to be an issue. Obviously, hopefully Nick Bosa's ankle is good to go again this week. I know he sat out practice today, so and if you look at it, the first half he didn't have his ankle taped, and the second half he did. So you could tell that it was still bothering him. He said also that it was bothering him a little bit, just a little bit of soreness. So, excuse me, guys. We'll see. We'll see this week. We'll see. But I think we match up really well with them. Oh, Aziz, that dude. Yo, special teams with Aziz Al-Shaair and Raheem Mostert. Bro, deadly. Them boys are down there with the quickness on every single kickoff. Every single kickoff. It's awesome. Who is playing running back this week? I would think Matt Breida and Raheem Mostert. Yeah. He said Niner by nature. What do you think? Bro, I need to shave, truthfully. I need to shave. He said, what's your feelings on a beard transplant? Because yours is fresh. I appreciate the compliment, but nah, bro. I couldn't grow a beard for so long because of the fire department, so now I just kind of let it grow, but I can't let it grow all the way out. I just can't. It just drives me nuts. Drives me nuts, but I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. Yeah, Mosley. David Yang says, what about that hit by Mosley? Mosley balled out this week too on special teams. So you got those three guys right there that are all ballers with speed. PB Zoe gives us $1. What's up, baby? Appreciate it. Appreciate the love and support. Talking about, I seen it. All right, so refs throwing shade, throwing Quan out. Look, man, these refs were horrible. So you guys probably couldn't hear this on the TV, but there were times the refs had open mics and they were like just talking in the stadium, and you could literally hear it in the stadium. So the one guy was like, no. They want a commercial break. They want to go to a TV break. And you hear it over the loudspeaker in the stadium. I'm just like, wait, what? And I see the ref pointing at the other ref, and he's like, no. They want to go to TV break. And I'm just like, but the calls were horrendous. It was the guy who was running the crew was his first year running the crew. So you could definitely tell that there was something else going on. Let's see here. Posey needs to shoot his gun like when Jameis juked him. Ankles were hurt. Yeah, but you know what? That's kind of interesting because he said right after the presser, he said, right after the game in his presser, he said that, he kind of broke down too early on that, and he did. So at least he understood what he did wrong, and he said the speed of the game is just totally different than college. And, he said, this is my first time experiencing, which it is. He's a rookie, guys. Like, his ankles literally got broke. Like, but he also took it and studied it and said, this is what I need to get better at, and these are the things that I need to do. Things like that. So, yeah. I won't hold off on him, but why can't Mitch Wishnowsky kick off deep, or are they instructing him to kick short the first force returns? Tim, I saw your question on this on Twitter, and I didn't answer it because I'm not sure. I had asked this question earlier in the year in the preseason, like and I thought, okay, well, maybe it's preseason, so maybe they're having him kick it short so that they can get some work on special teams, right? But I don't know, because he looks like he's putting everything that he has into it. There's times he kicks it out of the end zone. There's times he kicks it in the end zone. There's times he kicks it right before the end zone. I think he'll get a little bit stronger with it. But I'll tell you what, on kickoff with Raheem Mostert and Aziz Al-Shaair and Emmanuel Mosley, I'm not worried about it because they're there. They're there like every kickoff. Lewis Morris says, I need some beard oil. I use beard oil. Still doesn't work. Niner Empire 999. What's up, my homie? Oh, yeah. Big shout out, man, to Frank Carter, Brent, even Josh. He's a Bucs fan, but there was a ton of guys out there that watch our show this weekend, and giving enough but Niners guys, myself being there, a ton of love. So I just want to say thank you to all of you guys who watch our show. Very appreciative of it. I told Frank, he's a big supporter of our show also. Big shout out to him, his family, his wife, everybody that was with their group. Brent, his wife, Josh, his wife or girlfriend. I'm not sure if they're all wives, but to me, they're wives. So really, really cool, chill people. I chilled with them Friday night. We got a couple drinks here and there, a couple shots. We went to Coyote Ugly, went to a bunch of different bars. So big shout out to those guys. Big shout out to all the fans that came up to me asking to take pictures, to hang out, recognizing myself, asking about Mike, asking about the crew, telling me you guys love the show. Much love to all of you guys. I really appreciate it. And I'm truly thankful for you guys. I think I got another thing here. Oh God. Can my moderators take care of Shirley and them in this room? Take care of some of the comments, please. The refs were definitely crap. Let's see. Trey Willie 431 Jersey love, baby. $1.99. Big shout out from Trey Willie. Appreciate it, man. Jersey love, always in the house. The faithful represent hard from everywhere. Appreciate you guys. This is another big thing. Kenny says our blitz packages looked really good. No sacks, but Tart was in their backfield quick. On that one play, I thought Tart should have had a sack because it looked like he kind of slowed up to me. On the play action, and then it's like, oh shit, he still has it, and then runs, and then literally just gets to where the ball just gets over him. But I thought he could have had a sack on that if he would have just went full force. He was untouched. Just go. But overall, blitz packages were great. Should we trade for Gordon and drop Coleman and McKinnon? Nah, I don't think so. We got too many guys coming up to pay, man. And, we're going to have to be careful with that. Let's see. What's your thoughts on Fred? I love Fred. I thought Fred balled out. That peanut punch, man, he's perfected that. And that was another thing you've seen from these guys. One guy was making the tackle, other guy was going for the ball, or sometimes as they're going for the tackle, they're trying to strip the ball. You can see that it's a number one priority to get the ball out this year from Robert Saleh or Chris Kosaric or people like that, man, because it's definitely one of their main things that they're doing this year is putting that emphasis on getting the ball out, because they're definitely trying, which I love. David Yang says Bosa played great, but there were a few times he was getting whipped around. Look, he's a rookie, guys. He had a sack in his first game. He played really, really well. There were some things that he needs to work on, things that he needs to fix, but I definitely think that he will get those things fixed. And he'll be fine. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to send a link. I just saw Ali wrote me, so I'm trying to send him a link, and I just got it. So he adjusted right after. Bosa was anxious to get off to get that first sack. He adjusted right after. I agree with Russo here. Gordon wants to be paid top 5. We're not going to be able to afford that. There's no reason to go after him. James, he did get a decent amount. I don't know exactly what the percentages are. So James Sablin says, Nick, have you analyzed the game film yet? How much double team did Buckner get? From what I noticed, a lot. Buckner was actually outside, inside. He was kind of all over. I know the first series he got double teamed a lot. But these are the things, when he's getting double teamed, it opens up the edges, and you've seen the pressure from the edge. You've seen the pressure coming from the outside. And while we didn't get a ton of sacks, the pressure was there all day. It literally made Jameis Winston make bad decisions or get rid of the football. So, the pressure was good. I'll go back and I'll look at the percentages and I'll get back to you on that, James. I don't know exactly what the percentages were, but it did look like he was being double teamed a lot. Ali, I already checked my phone. I already sent you the link if you're watching. Yeah, West Coast, if you're in here, can you monitor some things for me? Yeah, how about that block punt? You know what the thing, Spy Nick Danger says, how about that punt though, right? And that punt impressed me in two ways. Obviously, Mark Najalko, I can never say his name right, had a hell of a bull rush, right? He gets to the backfield, he uses the player's leverage, he jumps up, he blocks it, right? But not only did he block the punt, he literally hustled to make the tackle of the guy who picked up the punt. So I love that hustle out of him. That was something really, really big with me from that. Let's see. I think Jimmy G's throws 3 or 4, nothing more or less tomorrow. And if he doesn't, then I feel iffy about him. I think he'll throw, I don't know about 3 or 4 touchdowns, but we'll see. He'll be fine. But that'll be Sunday, not tomorrow. Tomorrow night is Tampa and Carolina, which I'm going to watch that game as well, just to see what Carolina's doing. Christian McCaffrey tore it up this weekend. And I'm also interested to see that Seattle-Pittsburgh game also. Let's see. Theo Romo says, do we have a top D for the season? Right now, I would say yes, but obviously I have to see more games. I want to see consistency. Consistency, I want to see this consistency throughout the season. So, all right, let me bring Ali in here real quick. My man, what's going on?
Hey, let's go, baby. We on to Cincinnati.
On to Cincinnati, baby. Wheels up. Wheels up.
Oh, you're gonna bring home another W with you, right?
Hey, look, I'm hoping, man.
Man. Yeah, man. Let's go. Dude, let's go. We're so excited, man. So excited. So goddamn excited, man. Got that first W in Tampa, got the road win. It was just a good feeling all around, man. Heading into the whole week has been blessed, man. When you win on Sunday, you just the whole week is just awesome, man. When everything there's so many things that we need to change that and need to be improved on this week, but all that matters at the end of the day when you look at the record, the 49ers are tied for the division lead and tied for the conference lead at 1-0. We're going to Cincinnati and we're just carrying that momentum with us. It's just such an awesome feeling, man. Such an awesome feeling.
Ali, let me ask you this. What was your biggest takeaway from the game this weekend?
Number 97, Nick Bosa. This is a guy who has never played an NFL game in his career, who never played a preseason game, who barely practiced all training camp, who barely practiced all OTAs and thing because he's been dealing with injuries. And he came in there and he did not look out of place one bit. Come on, he was dialed up. This guy is going to be a stud. For his first NFL game to look the way he did, that was amazing. He looked really good. So I think that's when you see your number 2 overall pick and your first round pick show out like that in his first game. With him and Ford coming off the edges, that's havoc for all other teams we face this year. And I even picked up the 49ers in fantasy as my defense this week because I think we're going to be dialing up the same kind of performance this week against Cincinnati.
What do you think that we have? And I know we'll be doing a game preview later, but what do you think that the Niners have to do this week to win this game?
Control time of possession. I think that's the biggest key. Make Cincinnati's. I'm not worried about Cincinnati secondary, but make their front 4 tired. that by the time that just make them like exhausted. By the time the second half, late third, fourth quarter comes around, and if we have like a 14 point lead, we can just run the ball willfully because they're so goddamn tired from all the time of possession we've had, and that our offensive line has won the battle. That we can go ahead and seal that victory. I think that is probably my biggest thing that what we need to do to win this week.
Lewis Morris says $2. Garoppolo versus Brady Super Bowl. Thanks for the donation, Lewis. I appreciate it. Look, I think the biggest thing that we need to do, I mean, obviously time of possession, and with time of possession means you're running the football. We need to run the football this week. We need to be able to establish a run game. I think Jimmy Garoppolo was kind of on his back foot, not technically, but on his back foot with throwing the football and constricted this week because there was no run game. We only had 98 yards between all of our running backs last week, and I think that really messed up the play calling as well. And I think that's why we started. If you notice, we ran a lot more misdirection than than I've ever seen this team run. I mean, there was times where we went misdirection 3 times in a row where it looked like the same play with Debo coming from the end and then a fake handoff with a play action. But the play action wasn't working as well to get the football out in time because of the fact that we had no running game established. And do I think the Heat had a lot to do with that? Do I think the game plan with Tevin Coleman? I was really surprised Tevin Coleman ran the entire first quarter, not switching out with a Breida, especially as hot as it was. I was looking to see, quick rotations. But like I said, the play calling wasn't really good. The best offensive line that stood out to me in Tampa was probably Mike Person. He kind of stood out to me. Mike McGlinchey got beat a few times. Joe Staley looked okay. He didn't really get beat a lot. And, I mean, we only gave up 1 sack. You know what I mean? So, for an offensive line that we were worried about, only giving up 1 sack, even with blitzes and things like that, I thought it was good. But moving on to Cincinnati, I think we have to establish a run game a lot faster in the game. And I think and I even said to a Tampa fan that I was sitting next to last week, I said, Jimmy Garoppolo never performs on the first, second drives, like his first or second series. He usually doesn't click in until the third. The only time I've ever seen him click in with a first series is that drive against Jacksonville where he marched down the field. The other thing that we need to do this week to be better is our red zone. We were 0 for 3 in the red zone. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but we were 0 for 3 in the red zone this week. We get the punt block where we start off at the 30. We had touchdowns called back because of penalties. We ended up getting a field goal. We had another penalty called for a touchdown, end up getting a field goal. So you can mix that penalty with red zone. It needs to get better. I think we need to run the football, be more cautious about the penalties, and a lot more efficient in the red zone.
No, absolutely. I definitely agree. I think all the points that you made are absolute keys heading into this week. And like you said, just to follow up, just penalties. Penalties are huge. You know what I mean? What was it? We had 3 touchdowns called back because of penalties.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Can't that can't happen against a much better team. It's gonna go. That's gonna cost us a game. And against an offense that will make you pay for that, that's going to cost us a game down the road. So we definitely need to clean that up. We need a performance like we had against Kansas City in week 3 of the preseason with penalties. That was a really, really everyone was very disciplined in that game. So I think that's just, I don't know if we're hyping that up. We were just too hyped up for week 1. We were just wanting to go out there and just make every single play and just be the first guy off the line of scrimmage and the first guy back in the huddle and just we weren't just like really clicked in, you know what I mean? So I think that's something we definitely need to clean up.
And I see a lot of comments in here saying, well, those 3, we've always been shitty in the red zone, and you're not telling me anything. I've been on this red zone being a lot better for years, that we need to be better. But a lot of people are saying, oh, well, we scored touchdowns on those. Well, yeah, but we still got penalized, and then we couldn't score. We couldn't get those first downs. We couldn't get those continue to move the ball. It's not like we got a penalty and pushed us out of the red zone. We got penalties and pushed us back a little bit, but we still end up with 3. You know what I mean? So we didn't naturally finish those plays and get the first downs and continue to move the football. So, it's still a big issue. And whether those calls were bullshit or not bullshit, I thought the pick play on Kyle Juszczyk was a bullshit call because he was basically running out, cut across to go block the linebacker, and the other guy literally ran into him as he was going to block the linebacker. He stood up there for a second, and then he just flopped. And as soon as he flopped on the all 22, you see the ref reach and throw the flag as soon as he fell on the ground. So the refs were definitely picky with their calls. They were definitely different in both angles. The same thing with the even Tampa fans around me were saying that Richard Sherman pass interference, Mike Evans literally pushed him off, and Richard Sherman just grabbed his jersey to pull him back so that he couldn't get off. Well, now, like I was talking to Mike today, and Mike says, well, Richard Sherman should have just fell and got the penalty. Instead, he pulls him back in. So now if you retaliate, they're going to call it on you. But even the Tampa fans are like, oh, that's definitely offensive pass interference. Because it literally was. He literally pushed off him, went to jump up, and Richard Sherman pulled him back in. Now, Richard Sherman made some silly mistakes in this game, and we all know Richard Sherman holds. That's the way he is. That's the way he's always been. That's the way he's going to be. That's the way he plays his game. He's going to do it until they call it. And he says it himself. But yeah, the biggest thing to me is I think we got to get a run game established and clear out on the penalties, which those penalties will make our red zone look better. We got to also, cut the offside penalties, things like that. So
I think our pass rush will be a lot more effective too because Winston is a lot more mobile than Dalton, right? So I think that will be a big factor as well for our pass rush because as you noticed the Tampa game, Winston, like if someone was coming, he'd just slide to a little bit. He'd find the open area. I don't know. I'm not going to be the first one to tell you because I haven't watched much of Andy Dalton's career, and because Cincinnati is pretty irrelevant in my opinion. And, they never get much game time, and not many. I never get time to watch Cincinnati, so I don't know much about Andy Dalton. So, but he doesn't. From what I've seen, he's not the most mobile quarterback. So, I think that should really affect our pass rush in a good way. So, I'm really excited for that. Nick, why don't you let the faithful? I don't know if you told them, tell them about your trip quickly. I'd love to hear it. What was the biggest highlight for you? Tell them what some of the experiences. I don't know if I maybe I missed it or what.
Yeah, I talked about it, but I mean, one of the biggest standouts to me was obviously all the fans that were there. A ton of people.
How many do you think were there in the stadium?
Oh man, I'd probably say anywhere from 18 to 20,000.
Wow.
And I was saying to somebody earlier, it was probably close to 40 to 50% ratio. Definitely traveled well. A ton of fans, Niner fans. And there's a lot of implants there too. So, from other places. So it was definitely a big. I mean, like I said, Lakeland chapter. They ran if you guys are in Florida and around that area, Lakeland, check them out. The Lakeland Niner Empire chapter. Check them out and go on NinerEmpire.com, find them, and go and join them because they're really great people. They threw a heck of a party, and actually, I went to go get. They showed us a lot of love. I went to go get a band for the tailgate, And it was me, my mom, my aunt, and my nephew that was there. So there was 4 of us. And well, when I went to go get them, I had a problem with the link. So I waited till I got to the invasion, and they were there obviously because they were hosting it with 49ers. And I said, oh man, I'm trying to get a thing. He's like, look, we only had enough plates for 200 people and we're sold out. And I was like, well, that's probably why I was having a problem with the link. I was like, no problem. I'll still come by, stop by, whatever. I got there. He comes over to me, says, hey, look, just give us the $25 or $20, whatever it was. And I won't even let you guys get a band. You guys don't even need a band. We'll give you drinks, everything else like that. But nobody else can get them. And they really hooked us up. It was really cool that they hooked us up like that. So everybody says I look like Big Ben. Do you see that? I do not see that I look like Big Ben.
No. Have you guys seen a picture of Big Ben recently?
Yeah, like I don't.
Holy.
People are saying that all over the place, and I'm just like, I don't know how I look like Big Ben.
Big Ben's had too many hazy IPAs recently, man.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Niner by Nature says a lot of implants there, Nick. Beard implants? No. Implants, like other fans implanted in there. Let's see.
But it was loud. You were saying the stadium was loud. The experience overall, you had a great
bro,
time.
when we started the "Let's Go Niners" chant, like people said that you guys heard it on TV.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we started that. We started the na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye. That was loud. I just kept telling everybody bye, see you later, hasta luego. Like, people were just laughing, and all the fans were clearing out with like 2 minutes left in the game. But dude, it was an awesome experience. Awesome fun time. It was great to spend it with my mom, which made it even better.
Yeah. I was yelling at the top of my lungs when Kello got that pick 6, so I didn't hear the stadium, but it must have been insanely loud when Kello got that pick 6.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was. I was just like ecstatic. Game over. Game over. Game over. Just get up and leave now. Bye. It was awesome.
These next couple weeks are going to be crazy with Cincinnati this week, and then the home opener versus Pittsburgh. A week from now. That's 2 weeks from now. So it's going to be mental then.
Yeah. So Bashar says, I have a Tampa 49er chant on my channel just uploaded. So if you guys want to check that out, the Let's Go 49ers chant, check that out from Bashar. Like I said, I'm going to put one up on here too, a couple of the ones that we have. There was a question here asking if anybody, Chaos. Do you all know anyone going to the Saints game? Because I might go. Chaos, hit me up. I will be there. I will be in New Orleans. And it's a huge takeover. It's the biggest takeover this year that everybody's going to. So it's going to be really big. The invasion is going to be really big that the 49ers do. Ton of people.
Seems like you guys got a lot of from looking at your Twitter. Make sure you go follow Nick at 49er Faithful 365. He has a ton of pictures with the Faithful flag. Seems like you got tons of people just wanted to taking pictures with you and the flag and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was awesome, man, and I get to take it with me to Cincinnati this week with Izzy, and we'll get a lot of great pictures out there as well. Should be a lot of fun. It's going to be a long day. But because I'm flying in the morning, tailgating, going to the game, and then flying out. So it's going to be a long day for me. But at least I'll be there to bring that, hopefully bring that W home. Praying. And then on to the home opener, man, which is the game I really, really can't wait for. Got a bunch of us going out there. A bunch of other friends from Twitter, 49er Hodge, Rebecca, D Nori, Niner Faithful Radio, Niners Radio, Grant Cohn, Eric Wright. Like, there's a ton of us,
Eric Crocker.
Eric Crocker will be there. A ton of us. So if you guys are going to be at the home opener, make sure to check us out, man, because it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh my God, Niner by nature is nuts. I'm not even putting that comment up here. But yeah, so what are you looking? What do you give me? I don't know if you're gonna join us later in the week for game talk, but who do you want to see play better this week? Let me ask you that.
There's a couple guys. Maybe how about we do one on each side?
All right, let's do an offensive and defensive player. Yeah,
Okay.
without saying Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay, so my guy, I'm gonna go and it's not even play better, but I want to see just play is Dante Pettis because I feel like if with our current receiving core, I don't know if how far we can go if we don't have a guy like Dante Pettis come out and show up and show out this year. Like we need him. He is shown in the pass that he's so elusive, so shifty. He has the ability to get separation. We need someone like that. He is would be such a huge factor for us on offense. Kyle has to find a way to get him going, get his ass in check, and like let's go, man. How can you have dropped off so far from one year to the next? Like did you do nothing this off season? He needs to be a factor for us this year. So I need to see him play more than 2 snaps. I know Kyle said that he was dealing with the groin. I I don't know how much of that I believe, but um, I really think that Pettis needs to be a factor for us. So that's someone that I think that's the offense. And then you give me your offensive guy, and then I'll go next with my defense. I just want to think about my defense guy for a second.
My offensive end is going to be the running backs. Easily. Matt Breida has got to play better. Raheem Mostert. These guys have to play better. We have to establish a run game. I think if we cannot establish a run game this week, we will lose this game. I think the run game is probably going to be the most important thing this weekend in Cincinnati. And not because their defense is that good, but because we can't get anything else going without that. And you've seen that this week. Even though we had the touchdowns to Kittle and that were called back, but our offense in general. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo only threw for 165 yards. We didn't have a ton of yards this week. We had like 98 rushing, 165 passing. Like, that's not a lot of yards. You know what I mean? Defensively, we played a better game. If we didn't have those 2 pick sixes, and even with the touchdown, we're going to say the touchdown's called back because that's still a penalty and that's a mistake on our part. So I think the Bengals will be better than Tampa this week. And I think if we don't establish that play action by getting the run game going, I think we're going to be in for a long day. Even though our defense, I think, can hold us. But if our defense doesn't get 2 pick sixes and we get it, let's say we get interceptions in the red zone, but we can't score, what good are they? We're only getting 3 points out of it. We need to score touchdowns, and I think this run game needs to really, really get going.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think also run game also includes use check as well. Look for him to be more of a factor. Sorry, just getting a call. Look for use check to be more of a factor too. Like more than just blocking. I think that maybe this week we might use him more in the offense and have him be more of a factor there. Do you want me to go with my defensive guy next, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
My defensive guy is that I need to see improve this week is DeForest Buckner. I didn't notice Buck a lot. Like he was there, but I didn't see that he was like the first guy in there. He didn't have any sacks, right? Did he have any sacks? He didn't have any sacks, right? He just wasn't. He wasn't like difference maker for us. So I think that he needs to step up and take advantage of these weaker O lines that we're playing, because the O lines that we play will get better. The Steelers coming up, they have the good offensive line. The Browns do, so it's just going to get better. The competition's just going to get better. So I need to see Buckner um, just be more of a factor. You're one of our best players for a reason. Like I need you to get in the backfield and just cause havoc and a reason um, be a reason that we win the game. And just sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I totally agree with you. While Buckner does not get the sacks or the pressures, he is eating up that double team, so it is helping out the other teammates. But I mean, I just like to see when he does get those one-on-ones to win more consistently. Now, there was a question on here earlier asking me if I knew what the percentage was, as into where Buck took double teams compared to where he didn't. I don't know what the percentage is, but obviously he wasn't as effective as he was, as effective as he was, in years past. But obviously, I think that if he's going to take the double teams, it's going to help the other end of the line. If the other end of the line takes the double teams, it's going to help him out. So we got to get into that. So defensively, I want to see – people are going to laugh at me when I say this too, but I want to see a better game out of Richard Sherman. And I know Richard Sherman had a pick six, but there were other times where he had a ton of penalties. There were times that he got beat that you guys didn't see, that I saw on either the All 22 or at the game. And I just think his play needs to get a little bit better. I'm not saying that he can't get there or that he's not healthy, or maybe this is just who Richard Sherman is now. The way Ahkello Witherspoon played, if Jason Verrett plays, I was against Mike with this the whole time, saying, nah, he's coming for Ahkello's spot, not Sherman's, because I don't think the team will sit Sherman. But right now, the way Ahkello is playing, and if Ahkello continues to play like that, you got to look at replacing Sherman with Verrett if Ahkello starts to play better. I mean, if Verrett starts to play and Ahkello continues to play good, Richard Sherman could be that person who gets replaced there, or rotated. Either way, I think, Richard Sherman needs to play a little bit better. I know everybody's seen the pick six. They're probably going to say, oh, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean he had a pick six? Yeah, he had a pick six. But that pick six was also a very bad thrown ball, and it was really good coverage. And the ball was thrown to the outside of the receiver and right to Sherman. So, yes, that's good. While it's all good and dandy that he, scored 6 points and he got a touchdown out of it, and I loved it, and I was happy and I was excited and all that other things, doesn't mean that you can't get better. And I think that Richard Sherman needs to play a little bit better.
No, I agree with everything you said about Sherman. I think he was just seemed a little bit off of his game. Other than that pick six, he was getting beat every now and then. He was getting the calls against him, unfortunately. I think we just need to see a more refined version of him. Clean up your mistakes. Just clean up your mistakes, and I think you'll be a lot better. Don't try and play outside of what your capabilities are. Do you know what I'm saying? Just know what your capabilities are and play within them. I was going to ask you also, I was hoping you'd say him, what do you think of Tavarius Moore, his first game at free safety for us?
I thought there was goods and I thought there were bads. The goods, obviously, he had, some really good breakups. He had, for the most part, good tackling. There were some bads because one was we got a sack on the play, but people didn't see it. But Ahkello passed off on Mike Evans, I believe it was Mike Evans or Godwin. I don't remember exactly who it was. And I'm yelling because he's literally running down the sideline wide open. If we didn't get the sack, it's an easy 6. Tarvarius didn't come over to pick up the coverage like he was supposed to. And it was a pass off. And Akello dropped down to get the seam, and receiver just kept going straight downfield, and that's who Winston was going for. But Bosa and Ford got there quickly enough and got the sack. And that's where this pass rush has helped us. Because if we have those type of blown coverages, you don't see them because you get the pass rush and the sack or the pressure and an interception compared to a guy running wide open down the sideline. Do I think Moore is better than Ward right now at that position? No, I don't think so. I think Ward is more of a compact player at that position right now. I think the thing that Moore has going better than Ward is his speed and the ability to cover sideline to sideline.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do you think Moore is more rangy than than Ward? Because I feel like Ward is a better tackler than Moore right now.
Ward. I think Ward is probably one of the best tacklers on this team, to be honest. I really do. And I just was talking about Sherman, and me and Mike were talking about this earlier, and I said that I think that Jimmy Ward is probably one of the best probably the best tackler on this defense. And he says, I don't know. And you know how Mike is with Sherman, but Mike said, I think Sherman's up there too. And Sherman it doesn't look pretty, but the way Sherman tackles, and we were talking about it, is he kind of hits you at the hip and he kind of slides down you like a fire pole and kind of just wraps those legs and just fall and twists, like a perfect, where you're hitting, you're wrapping, and you're twisting, and you're pulling. So, but Jimmy Ward is one of the best tacklers on this team. He definitely is. I like him better at free safety than I do nickel. Mike likes him better at nickel than he does free safety. But I think when Jimmy Ward is playing everything in front of him, he's better than he is playing in coverage because he can see everything and he tackles well. He can still cover sideline to sideline, just not as fast as Tarvarius Moore. Tarvarius Moore's got like 4.3 speed. So obviously he's going to be a lot faster than Ward sideline to sideline. But right now, if Jimmy Ward was healthy, I would be starting Jimmy Ward over Tarvarius Moore right now at free safety. I think it makes our team better. If Ward is hurt and can't stay healthy, then obviously Moore is getting these reps to become that person.
I will say this about Moore. I think because of what we've seen from Ward and see what his ceiling is, I really think there is a lot of potential in what Moore can be for us. I think Moore's ceiling is higher than Ward's. I think Moore could be, with more development at that position, because this is his first year truly playing that position. And that was his position coming out of college that he was playing. So I feel like give him another year in the system, playing that position on a more of a full-time basis. I think that his ceiling is much higher. He could be like one of our like a really just a foundational piece there.
And I agree with you on that. And if you were to tell me who should be starting in 2 years, I'd probably say Tarvarius Moore. But right now, I think Jimmy Ward is probably a healthy Jimmy Ward is probably better for this defense right now because of skill set and play and experience compared to Tarvarius Moore. Now, that's not saying anything wrong with Tarvarius Moore. It's just there are things that Tarvarius Moore is still a rookie. You know what I mean? So I still think there are things that he needs to do to step up in this defense. And I think he will. Like you said, I think his ceiling is high. But it's just a matter of the fact that right now, if you were to have a healthy Jimmy Ward and a healthy Tarvarius Moore, I think Jimmy Ward makes our defense better in skill set wise than Tarvarius Moore does right now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
There's a question here by DVLZ Son and says, but how does Moore get better if he doesn't play? What are your thoughts on that?
I think he just gets better because he's he's still learning at that position. He's taking still um, developing by learning at that position. Obviously, it's way better to actually be in there and get. It's like one of those things where I learn better when I do it instead of see it. Do you know what I'm saying? So obviously he would be better if he's doing it instead of seeing it, but he can still learn and develop. It's kind of like with quarterbacks, like sometimes when you're not ready yet as a QB, you're learning that off season or that season where you're learning, like Mahomes did, like Rodgers did. Um, just using those as examples, it really helps you just to see the bigger picture. And then you come in the next year and you're just ready to go and you're ready to fire on all cylinders.
Yeah. Like I said, I love Tarvarius Moore, and I think he has he's special, and I think he has a spot in this league. I'm just saying right now, Jimmy Ward's on a 1-year contract, right? Right now, if Jimmy Ward was healthy, I think they go back to Jimmy Ward. Whether we like it or not, I think they just go back to Jimmy Ward. Now, with him having a cast on his hand, I'm not so sure I want him at safety because that takes away the interceptions. You know what I mean? Like, you can't – it's going to be hard to catch a football. It's going to be hard to defend and block a pass. Tackling, you'll be okay with a cast on. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And either way, I'm okay with it. I don't think Tarvarius Moore played to where I need to be scared. I don't think Tarvarius Moore played to where I don't think he can be replaced. So you're kind of like either way. If you have Jimmy Ward out there, if he can stay healthy, he's a good athlete. If you take away the injury out of Jimmy Ward's name, he's a hell of an athlete. The kid can play. It's just a matter of getting his health to stay there. So
yeah, absolutely.
Before we get out of here, did you bet on any games this weekend?
I did not this weekend. This weekend it was my friend's 30th, so we were up in Whistler, BC. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it. So we were just up there and partying up there, and then football Sunday. So I didn't get time to make any bets because I woke up a little bit later. But this week I'm probably going to make some bets. I don't usually like betting on the 49ers game because then it's too much like stress with that, and there's too many things if you're making. I don't usually do prop bets. I'll bet on games or I'll bet lines or something like that. So I definitely will be making some bets this week on some other games for sure.
How'd you do in fantasy this week?
1-1. So I won my big league. I came back. I was down 18 with Josh Jacobs left, and
Josh Jacobs had a game.
Josh Jacobs had a game for me, and I won it with him. He had 23 fantasy points for me, so I won that one, and I lost mine. We played fractional points. Another one. I had Denver D and Drew Brees, and my opponent had Deshaun Watson, and I was up 10 going into it, and I was tied with Denver D left, and Denver D ended up getting me 0 points, and I lost by like 0.28 or something.
Oh, that stinks.
Oh, it's gross. But 1-1, I'll take it. And yeah, I'm looking.
I went 2-0 in both my leagues this week, and the sleeper league for the Nothing But Niners crew, I scored 259 points. My lineup was sick this week. You want to hear what my lineup was this week?
Yeah, sure.
Just to interest you a little bit. All right. So I had – wait, let me go back to week 1. Let's see here.
While you're looking at that, I'm just going to quickly, just to finish up the Cincinnati this week, last thing about this game. I'm going to read off their starting defense, and you quickly tell me which one player concerns you on their defense. At left defensive end, we have Carlos Dunlap. Nose tackle, Andrew Billings. Right defensive tackle, Geno Atkins. Right defensive end, Sam Hubbard. Sam linebacker, they have Nick Vigil. Middle linebacker, they have Preston Brown. Will linebacker, they have Jordan Evans. Left cornerback, Drake Kirkpatrick. Strong safety, Sean Williams. Free safety, Jesse Bates. And right corner, they have William Jackson the third.
So what did you want me to say with all that?
Of their starting defense, who's one player that concerns you? And they also have Carl Lawson, who's a rotational guy, with Hubbard as well.
I love Hubbard, so
yeah,
I love Hubbard. But there's really not much that scares me on that defensive side of the football. There's really not.
I honestly think I'll take it from here. Geno Atkins on the inside.
Yeah, Atkins with our interior line might be a little scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it.
And
but Person played really well week 1, so I'm the one I'm worried about is Richburg. He just looked like he had no drive, no push, no anything. He kind of looked like he just stood up straight and was getting manhandled all weekend.
He was going up against Vita Vea. Vita Vea is a beast. But those are the kind of guys that you're going to get in the meat of that defense. So you got to be better. You got to win.
Yeah. No fights with me. No fights with me, Tim, this week. All right, so here's my fantasy from last week. I had Brady. It's a 2-quarterback league, too. I had Brady and Goff. My running backs was McCaffrey, Marlon Mack. Receivers was Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Allen Robinson. Tight end was Evan Ingram. My flex position was Tevin Coleman. And another flex position was Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, wow. Larry Legend had a game, too.
Yeah, he had 113 yards. But Cooper had 106 yards and a touchdown. Allen Robinson had 102 yards. Keenan Allen had 123 yards. Marlon Mack had 174 yards. And Christian McCaffrey had 128 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 81 receiving yards. So I won 258.68 to 100.66 this week in that league. That's crazy. But my team had a breakout week, so my team balled out this week. So
that's solid, man.
That's good. It's solid. Hopefully we can keep that going. I changed up a few things this week, so but yeah, other than that, man.
One of my favorite non-49ers is Run CMC. I love that guy. He's so filthy good. I wish I had him on my team this year.
Yeah, I got him in both leagues, I think. Let me see. I think I have him in both leagues. Because everybody was taking oh, no, I don't have him in the other league. My other league is Le'Veon Bell and Nick Chubb. And Jordan Howard. They're my other 3 running backs in my other league. But, hey, it works. Guys, man, look. See this flag behind me? Look. It's even got a Jerry Rice autograph on it right here. See it? Jerry. If you guys don't know about that, check out, if you're on Twitter, at 49er Hodge. That's at 49er Hodge. I'll put it up here for you so you guys can see what it looks like. Let's put it up here real quick for you.
Should we do a final score prediction?
Yeah, we can. But so guys, right there, if you're on Twitter, go give them a follow. That and the hashtag Faithful Flag Adventures. If you just search that, all the stuff for that will come up. And I'm going to put that in there. Hashtag Faithful Flag Adventures. If you just put that in on Twitter, all the information will come up for that as well. If you're ever interested in that, talk to Hodge, tell him that MBN sent you, and maybe you will be the next bearer of the Faithful Flag Adventures. I know I had a great time in Tampa with it, taking pictures with everybody, getting the all gas, no brakes chant going with it was really, really hyped me up. And I will have the luxury of taking it to Cincinnati this weekend with my buddy Izzy. And then Izzy will be taking it over also as the 19th bearer of the flag. So, guys, Hodge is a great dude, man. He'll send it to you, send you a little gift with it, the rule package and things like that. And it's an awesome experience. So if you haven't done it yet, make sure you check it out. Like I said, just at 49er Hodge on Twitter, at 49er HODGE, and hashtag Faithful Flag Adventure. So check that out. Hit up Hodge if you're interested in doing those. And, for me, it's on to Cincinnati. So, Ali, what do you think the score prediction is? I nailed this last week. I nailed this on the money.
I'm going to go 34 for the 49ers. 34-20.
34-20, Ali says. 34-0. 34-20. All right. Vinny Locke says 34-20. Niner Rich says 34-28. Tim Duncan says 38-13. Andrew Martinez says 27-15. Niner Empire says 38-17. Gipster says 28-24. Louis Mars says 35-21. You know what's interesting? Mike Leggett says 24-21. You said 34-20, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see here. I don't think we have a real good game from defensive touchdowns this week. I'm not going to say we have two. I think we get one this week.
I think we get one too.
I think we get one defensive touchdown this week. But I think Jimmy G comes out and we play a lot better offensively. I think our run game does get going. And I want to say this is going to be a close game. But I think this team is just going to have too much hype around them right now. We're staying in Ohio, so we don't have to worry about the travel. I think we're going to be a lot fresher than we were. It's not going to be as hot. It's going to be like 90 degrees in Cincinnati, but not the same obviously not the same humidity out there. I'm going to go 28-7 Niners.
Oh, wow. The defense on lock, eh?
I think the defense will be better. But I'm going to go 20. You know what? 28-7. I'm going to stick with 28-7. I was going to change it to this, but then I saw that he did it. So I'm going 28-7. 31-14, Euless says. Euless, what's going on, man? I think I saw him in Tampa this weekend. Yeah, but the humidity's totally 28. Gipster says 28-7. The humidity's totally different.
The early weather report, I'm looking at it right now. It's 90 degrees. In Canada, we deal with Celsius, so it's weird to me. But it's saying it's 90 degrees, mainly sunny, a few clouds. That's football weather right there, man.
Does it say anything about the humidity percentage?
No, it does not. Not on here. No.
No? Yeah, I'll look for it once we get closer and see how it is, how it comes out. But I think that I think we'll be all right. I really do. I think we'll be okay with the weather this week. So Tim Duncan says 60%. That's nothing. 60% humidity. It was 87% humidity in Florida this weekend at 95 degrees. So that's hot. All right, one more last thing, and then we'll get out of here. We only had 3 sacks last week and 1 strip, which technically is a sack, but NFL numbers don't count it as a sack. How many sacks you going with this week?
7.
7 sacks. Woo! Going from 3 to 7, getting 4 more. Who leads the team with sacks this week?
Buckner with 2.5.
Buckner with 2.5. Buckner with 2.5. You know, it's crazy because the game hasn't even been played yet, and I literally had a dream, and I'm just gonna say what my dream was, and this will be my defensive touchdown. D Ford comes off the edge. Andy Dalton's going to throw the ball. He gets the strip, but when he hits it, it bounces backwards and bounces, right? And Fred Warner gets the pickup and takes it to the touchdown. And I had that dream during a nap or during my sleep last night, and I literally woke up screaming, yes! Like, I was super excited. So that's what my dream was. So let's see if it comes to truth. D Ford comes from the outside on the left side. Andy Dalton's getting ready to throw the football. D Ford strips it out, like hits his hand. It bounces. Fred Warner picks it up and takes it for 6. So let's see.
Just before we wrap up here, how excited are you to see Quan Alexander play a full game there? Because he was Litrella, and I'm using Litrella because that's his Twitter name. He was Litrella in that first quarter.
He was legendary.
Oh man, he was getting me so hyped, man. Whew.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty crazy. I'm excited to see Quan, man, especially him not being able to play a full game. Especially him not being able to play a full game because he was hyped. He was hyped. He was ready to go. And I think with him sitting out, I think is going to make him even more ready to go. I think he's going to come out. Hopefully, just, hopefully he stays out of the ejection point. But, yeah, I'm super excited to watch him this week. Big J says Cincy will feel nothing to Tampa Heat. This is exactly true. Gibster said it was 55% humidity in Cincy today. Vinny Locke says 4 sacks, 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, San Francisco defense. Going with 3 innings this week. This is interesting. DeVar Band says Garoppolo over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So DeVar Band says also 6 sacks, 2 Nick, 2 Buckner, 2 Ford. We'll see, man. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. So Tim Mendoza, what's up, Coach Tim? Says Niners going to take another game in Cincy, but it won't be easy. They played Seattle tough in their house, but I agree their defensive stats continue. But Jimmy G is going to have a much better game. Look, I'm not impressed with that Seattle defense this year. I'm really not. Ali, have you watched that game yet or no?
I watched it. Like I said, I watched a bit of it on Red Zone. When I had it on mute though because I had the 49ers.
Bro, I might have to give you my login. I might have to give you my login for Game Pass so you can watch that. Because
I have this now with Game Pass. How does it work? Because it's all you get to watch the all 22 or just watch the game.
You can watch everything.
Okay, like because we have this thing in Canada that's called DAZN. I don't know if you've heard of it. So that they have the rights over here. So I have that, so I could go back and watch it when I get a chance.
Oh, okay. Well,
but we don't have they don't have all 22 on there though.
Yeah, mine has the coaches film, condensed, full replay, everything. So, but yeah, if you need it, let me know.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you.
But definitely check it out, man, because I want you to see I want to see what your opinion is on this Seattle defense because I'm not. Bro, like I was saying earlier, I saw them. Tim says, at Ali, you in Canada too? Yep. So.
Yeah, I'm in Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah, I think Tim's over there in Canada too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So, it was really weird though. Like I was talking about it earlier, Seattle looked like they stayed in base more than nickel. Like they kept their 3 linebackers and no nickel corner on the field, and that John Ross was just killing them in the slot. because he says, oh, he's in Calgary. But yeah, their defense did not impress me at all. I mean, they got some pressure up front, obviously with Clowney and things like that, but their secondary is dookie. I thought our secondary was going to be bad. Their secondary is dookie, especially their safety position. So, but yeah, that's all I got for this week, guys. I was planning on only doing a quick show, but now it is 1:00 in the morning, and I started this at 11 something. I was going to do a quick 30 to 45-minute show, but I love all you guys. Love all of our faithful, man. Myself and Mike will be back again soon. Make sure that one other thing I forgot to mention, you guys. If you are big on betting, make sure you go over to mybookie.com. Make sure you use the promo code NBN. With that promo code, they will match anything that you put into your account up to $1,000, dollar for dollar. So if you put 1,000 in, they'll put 1,000 in. Make sure you guys check that out. And like I said, it's mybookie.com, and use the promo code NBN for nothing but Niners, obviously. You guys can bet college games. You can bet NFL games. You can bet tons of things, man. Tons of things over there. So make sure you go over there and visit that. Like I said, it's mybookie.com. Promo code.
You can bet literally everything. I took a look at that site over there. You can bet politics. You can bet futures. You can bet Emmy Awards, Oscars. You can bet, I don't know, man. What can't you bet on these days?
Yeah. It's crazy. So make sure you guys go over to mybookie.com. And like I said, make sure you enter that promo code NBN, because they will match up to $1,000 for dollar to dollar. So make sure you guys go over there and check them out. It's a great site, really easy and friendly, friendly, user-friendly, I should say, user-friendly. So mybookie.com, NBN, and yeah, go over there, guys. Check that out, and good luck with anything that you vote on. So appreciate MyBookie, and make sure you guys check them out. Like I said, promo code NBN at mybookie.com. So, Ali, man, we're going on to week 2. We gave our score predictions. Let me just ask you one more thing before we get out of here. On a scale of 1 to 10, your excitement before the season started and your excitement after week 1, where is it at? Where was it at before, and where's it at now?
Before it was in terms of, excitement level, just about the team, or is it about just, the season getting started, or
no, just about the team, like how you thought the team would do, excitement level.
Okay. 7. Before the season started. And now I'm at 7.5.
Okay, so only week 1 only raised you about a half.
Yeah.
Preseason, I was probably around there too, a 7, because of our depth. I was a little worried about how our starting defensive line would do, or our offense. And to be honest with you, I'm probably still at a 7. And the reason that I'm still at a 7 is because I didn't see any adjustments from our offense yet. I said earlier in the year that a lot of people are worried about our defense, but yet I am one that was worried about our offense more than I was about our defense. And I'm still at that point. I'm still a little bit worried about our offense and moving this football in the red zone. I think we need to get things situated there and back on track. And do I think we will? I absolutely do. I think we will. How much do you think this game is a must win? I know it's only week 2, but how much do you think it's a must win?
It 100% it's a must win. You have to win these games. Cincinnati is a bottom tier team, and if we have playoff aspirations this year, starting 2-0 with Tampa Bay and Cincinnati is crucial, because even if we lose a home opener against Pittsburgh, we're still 2-1 heading into the bye, and we're still feeling pretty good about ourselves, because we've shown the ability that we can win on the road. So to me, this is one of those early must-win games.
I'm going to go a different aspect here. I don't think it's as much of a must-win. I mean, obviously, I think we should win the game. But if we win the game, how can I say this? If we win this game, what I think it will do is it's just going to build this team even more. And what I mean by that is going into week 3. The energy level is just going to continue to grow week in, week out, week in, week out. And this is a game where you expect to win. And now I'm not saying that the players expect to win it, obviously, because it's an NFL game and all games are different. You've seen what Tennessee and Delaney Walker said about the Browns. Like, you guys crown these guys and they haven't even played a game yet, right? So anything can happen on football Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever day you're playing on. But I think this is important, not just for the schedule, but I think this is important because this is where it looks back. You've only won one game on the road in the last 9, right? Obviously, last week was our first one. We were 0-8 going into last week. If you get that to 2 games, you're already getting better. You're already at your halfway mark that you were last year with an entire 14-game season to go. I think morale-wise, if we get this win, it's better for the team mentality-wise. I don't think it's as important for schedule-wise, but I definitely think it's important for mentality-wise. Going into play, then going back home and playing a Pittsburgh Steelers team. Now, we've seen what the Steelers look like. They didn't look really good. I know they were playing against the Patriots, but they just didn't look good. Will they look like that again? I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see what they look like against Seattle this week. But I think we need this win for mentality purposes, and what I mean by that mentality purposes is just puts that confidence more into our team compared to, losing this game. I think if we lose this, not that it will step us back, but it will step us back a little bit compared to what we win and head into the home opener for. So Tammy McDaniel says if the Niners don't get the win, it's going to be a long season. I'm not too sure about that, Tammy, but I see where you're coming from. The Niners need to play better in Ohio. If they want to win, they have to clean up penalties and sloppy play. We all agree on that. It's important to the fans that we fill the stadium against Pittsburgh. 100%.
That'll be a sellout for sure.
Yeah.
There's no way that game's not a sellout, especially if we beat Cincinnati this week. That game will be it'll be loud. I'm making an early prediction that stadium will be buzzing against Pittsburgh if we win that. If we
all gas, no break, baby. All gas, no break. All gas, no breaks. Guys, I am 49er Faithful 365. As you see right there, follow me on Twitter and at ALIYAZZ01. Yeah, it's kind of hard with the camera. You got to get used to it. Give Ali a follow as well on Twitter at ALIYAZ01. Make sure you guys give us a follow on Twitter and Snapchat also, and that is at Nothing But 9ERS. Facebook and Instagram, Nothing But Niners, all spelled out. www.nothingbutniners.com. Check us out over there. If you guys ever have any pictures or anything like that you want to send us in, ask us a question, do anything like that, give us the email, nb9ers@nothingbutniners.com. And last but not least, hit that like and subscribe button if you are new to our channel. Also, we have officially hit over 6,000 subscribers. I promised you guys we would do a giveaway once we hit 6,000 subscribers. So I will be putting that together this week. It'll be a random. I will let you guys know what to do. But just to show you guys what I'm going to give you, the giveaway is, can you guys see that? So that is a Brent Jones 8x10 autograph picture. So that will be the giveaway for 6,000 subscribers. It does come with a certificate of authenticity. There it is right there. So make sure you guys all you have to do is like and subscribe to the, oh, my camera messed up. There we go. I'm back. like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you are a subscriber because you cannot win if you're not a subscriber. But I will let you guys know the further details on that. But I do want to let you know that I do have it set up for you guys for a giveaway. And that is a Brent Jones autographed 8x10 picture with certificate of authenticity. And I will be giving that away for you guys for us hitting 6,000 subscribers. So make sure you guys tune in, set that bell for notifications so you know when we go live, because sometimes we have those impromptu shows. So make sure you give me a follow at 49er Faithful 365. Make sure you give Ali a follow at ALIYAZ, which is Z01. We on to Cincinnati, baby. Right?
Hell yeah.
Let's go. If you're going to be
baby.
If you're going to be in Cincinnati, hit me up. I'd love to come by and say what's up, or check me out at one of the tailgates. I don't know where I'm going to be yet. Like I said, I get in on a plane that morning. I'm going to tailgate. I'm getting drunk. I'm going to the game. I'm going back to the airport, and I'm flying back here and getting ready for the home opener. So give me a follow. Give Ali a follow. Give us a follow. Hit that like and subscribe button. Like I said, bang, 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 bang. Hit that like and subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter and Snapchat, nothing but 9ERS. Facebook and Instagram, nothing but Niners, all spelled out. Check out the World Wide Web, nothingbutniners.com. Email nb9ers, nothingbutniners.com. And that is all I got, guys. Make sure that you guys, like I said, give us a follow. All of us. And above all else, stay faithful. We out of here. Peace.
We're on to Cincinnati.